Hey everybody, it's your girl Queenie. Thank you once again for tuning in to another Bar Talks podcast. And we are continuing this amazing conversation surrounding inspiration and greatness. I am so excited that today we have none other than Mrs. April Sampé, who is an amazing artist here in the DMV area and beyond. I've seen her perform in many different arenas. She has an amazing spirit. She oozes confidence. And I'm just so grateful to have her joining us today. April, welcome to the Bar Talks podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be here, and being around your spirit just excites me even more. So,
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. I'm super excited because as I've shared with you and many others, I wanted to put together conversations surrounding inspiration. I look at you like many people probably do, and we see an amazing spirit. We see,
oh,
we're inspired by your energy and by the songs and the way you sing and the way you emote, the way you light up a room. But in your day to day, how you move and your wisdom and how you're so transparent. And I see that as a greatness. And
thank you.
oftentimes we sometimes have a difficult challenge saying, hey, yeah, I'm great, but we're all still evolving. But in truth, just like many of us have looked at people beyond us and before us and beside us, and we see something amazing in them, and it inspires us to be our better self, a higher self. When I see you, it's that way as well. Others see that. So can you share with us an experience, a person, a place, or a thing that inspires you to that greatness?
So, I have to be 100% transparent. It's my brother and my sister.
Wow. Okay.
So, my parents, I have to say, my parents are great. My
Mm-hmm.
parents were on their third child, and I'm on the second child. And when they got to me, they were just like, I don't want to do this anymore. and here I come. My brother and my sister sat me down and explained everything that I ever needed to know about growing up. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this from a little girl. My sister taught me um, about my sister had the talk with me, the birds and the bees conversation.
Yeah.
My brother had the talk with me about how to react when people are treating you poorly or being disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
They always gave me those life conversations,
Yeah.
those life interactions. And I feel that if it weren't for them, I don't think I'd be where I am today, because they were such strong personalities in my life. I call them anytime I have a problem now, I call them just to make sure that I'm making the right decision.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're beautiful people. If you ever have an opportunity to work with either of them, my brother owns a company called Article 730, where he helps people deal with their mental health. He teaches people how to meditate. My sister owns a company called World Next Door, where she takes people on these trips that are on their bucket list. So they both really help people in their everyday lives. So
wow. Look,
yeah.
I get goosebumps hearing that. That is amazingly beautiful. I have had the pleasure of talking to your sister.
She's
We,
awesome.
we kind of just met virtually on happenstance, and she and I talked while I was on the treadmill, and we talked about a lot of her journey. And it really was, I was just looking to go on one of her trips.
Mhm.
And then I realized who she was. And when the listeners may not know this, but I had the privilege of coming to your beautiful wedding. And I was able to put
You
it
took some
together at
good
that
pictures.
moment that this, you were looking amazing.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
I had a chance to put it together that this was your sister
Mhm.
that I had also been talking to about these trips. And so, yeah, even in that conversation, she truly inspired me because she has a beautiful outlook on life and
Mhm.
experience. So I
Yes.
can see why you have tapped into that. But you have your own glow, right? You got that own glow, girl, your own glow. And I guess when I hear you say, thinking back, you attribute that to your sister and your brother.
Mhm.
I can see that. I can see that because you shine everywhere you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, when you say shine, I look at people and how they interact with others.
Hmm.
And, when you're only focused on yourself, then that's all it's going to be. You
Yeah.
will be by yourself forever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
When you look at how your inner light interacts with other people's lights, that's when you realize that you're not by yourself. You are directly connected to every living being on this planet.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that perspective, then you always want to make your light shine just that much brighter so that you can be a little bit more energy for the next person who needs it at whatever time they need it. And I learned that again from my siblings, because whenever I'm at my worst, if I pick up the phone and call them, my brother has this saying, "It sucks to be you." He got it from
Yeah.
somebody else,
Yeah.
but he's like, "It sucks to be you." And that makes me laugh every single time. I'm like, "Oh, this, woe is me, woe is me." He's like, "Oh, it sucks to be you." And that really means, is it really that bad?
Right.
Is everything, really that bad? Now, how can you turn it around and make it better?
Yeah.
So move from that, "It sucks to be you," make it funny, and, you know,
Yeah.
let your inner light shine. Let me give you a little bit of mine so you can shine a little bit brighter. And the next person that comes along that needs, some help, you make sure that you extend it.
Yeah, I love that, April. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that in this space
Thank you.
with us. So my second question is, what is one or some of the most rewarding things that you have learned on your journey, just about life or whichever area you care to share with me?
You know how people say don't sweat the small stuff?
Hmm.
Sweat the small stuff.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is grow from that small stuff.
yeah.
We we are in a society where we're taught, let everything roll off your back.
Hmm.
But if you're letting it roll off your back, you're not learning from it.
Right.
And so you have to really stop, analyze where you are, and figure out how, with when you're at your worst, what are you growing? What are you learning from that?
Hmm.
And so I'll say, I say sweat the small stuff. And what I mean by that is, what are you learning from every single every area of adversity that you've been dealt with?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that. I would say learn. There's a old Mexican proverb that says, "They tried to bury us. They didn't realize that we were seeds."
Wow.
And so, when people are always putting you down, how are you taking from that and growing from it?
Hmm.
What are the small things that you hold on to, or the small things that you let roll off your back, but you didn't actually take the opportunity to grow from those small things that you let roll off your back?
Yeah.
So actually look at yourself. Every day I look at myself in the mirror and I give myself uh, my my daily affirmations, my I ams, if you
Hmm.
will. And, I have to constantly make sure that I'm growing from every single thing that I experience on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love that. So sweat the small stuff. You guys
Sweat,
listen, y'all
sweat
hear
the
that,
small
right? Sweat the small stuff. It's all about what you do with it, right?
Right.
So you heard it first here. Sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you think about it, what is sweat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's your body is cleansing.
Yeah.
And when your body is cleansing, it's getting rid of all of those negative or the bad toxins in your body. Um, what are you doing from that? You're growing every time
Hmm.
something goes out, you're able to bring in something good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how are you taking those negatives and turning them into positives? It's funny. I started I guess a movement. It's called the Ugly Movement.
Okay.
Okay. And it's from me sweating the small stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
I was called ugly so often
Hmm.
um, that I believed it. And instead of me stopping to think, okay, why are these people saying it? Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And so now when people say, you're ugly, I say, thank you, because ugly stands for understand God loves you.
Yeah.
It's a ugly movement. And so, you know, taking something negative and growing from it and turning it into something positive so that people can grow from it.
Mm-hmm. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. So this ugly movement, when did this come about? Like, how did you, I hear how you came up with it, but like, when did this come about? When did this kind of become a movement?
So it became it became a name for my album in
Oh, okay.
2016.
Okay.
So in 2016, I said, I'm going to do an album called The Ugly Album, which was going to be right after what I put out in 2016, Makeover.
Okay.
Or actually, maybe I put it out in 2017. I don't remember. I put it out. How about that?
Yeah.
So The Ugly Album I created the name, it was just going to be ugly because I was tired of being called ugly. And one day I said, you know what? Wait, let me actually create an acronym for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking, what can it mean? And when I thought about understand God loves you, I was like, this is it. This is it. Because, you know, God does not make anything that he doesn't love. You're not going to make something, you're not going to create something and not have love for it.
Yeah.
And if God loves me, I'm good. I don't need you to love me. I don't need I don't need your validation.
Yeah.
I don't need you to big me up. I have love from God and I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's not a religious album at all.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't get that twisted.
Okay.
But it is an album that, and it's an EP, my apologies. It is music that makes you look at yourself a little different.
Oh, nice.
And so I do have a song called Daily Affirmations. And the first line is, I'm a queen from beginning to end. I don't need you to lose for me to win.
Ooh, girl, that need to be on my shirt. You know, if I do get it printed, I would definitely give you credit for it. I love that. I love it.
So, you know, with that creating it, and so I started thinking about it when I was doing the Makeover album, or when I finished it. I explained one of the things that came about, which was I was at a party and a man came up to me and said, how does it feel to be the ugly one? Now, I was at the party with another woman who is gorgeous. And when he said that, I was just lost for words. I didn't know how to answer. I just said, I don't know. And I turned around and walked away.
Wow.
Now, other people that I've told that story to, they're like, I would have punched him in the face. I would have thrown my drink on him. But no, you would feel hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the average person wouldn't really know how to respond, especially
I don't need
when.
it's production. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That was God saying, message.
No, you're
But, you know, the average person wouldn't really know how to respond or react when if somebody just walked over to you and said that. And you could tell he didn't mean it in a negative. He wasn't trying to be rude,
right.
trying to be disrespectful.
Right.
He was just ignorant.
Right. Right. That's all.
That's it. He was just ignorant. So you can't really want to throw a drink at someone who's just ignorant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So from that, it made me, it birthed the ugly movement.
Yeah.
So that's where we are at this juncture.
Girl, I love that. You know, I love that. I know that there are some women, specifically some women, that need to hear that, that need to sit with that for a moment. You know, so that's beautiful. I'm gonna have to go find that album, and I hope some of my.
So the ugly album is actually, I'm working on that right now.
Okay, you're working on
It
it
was
right now. Okay,
supposed to be
please make
out
sure
in
you keep
April.
it.
Oh,
Okay.
I will. It was supposed to be out in April, but you know, and I was finishing everything in March.
Okay.
And Miss Rona decided to show her ugly face.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are not happy with Miss Rona.
Right. Yes, well, definitely keep us in the loop here, Bar Talks. I would love to be one of the first to purchase and download.
Done.
But also, I have some young girls that I mentor, and they're millennials, and some, yeah, well, no, they're all millennials actually.
Mhm.
But they come to me as the old woman, and they ask me for advice and
Yeah.
encouragement. Well, I feel that way now because they're like in their 20s, like 22, 25.
Mhm.
Hey, Miss Queenie, I know that you know this, and I'm thinking, oh. I'm now that older lady, huh?
Mhm.
But I'm always looking for ways to encourage them and inspire them and empower them,
Mhm.
because for as beautiful as I see them, they don't yet see themselves that way.
Mhm.
So I think maybe hearing the words on an album like that and hearing someone like yourself speak would help them to move them along in this space of building confidence within themselves. Educated young ladies,
Mhm.
educated, brilliant, smart women. But society is cruel, so it's tough on us sometimes.
Well, I actually had a situation last night. I
Oh,
had a show that I did, and I did a sound check, and there were some people talking about my look on the sound check.
okay.
And I'm sitting here thinking, do these people know that this is quarantine, my quarantine look, number one? And number two, I can't believe that in this day and age, people have so many negative things. I actually felt I was hurt. And then reality kicked in. What makes me better than anybody else?
Right.
Everybody receives this at least once or twice in their lives.
Yes.
I'm no different. I've received it a lot growing up,
Mhm.
but it's, now that I'm older, I haven't been getting that negative energy coming in
Yeah.
my direction.
Mhm.
So I had to check myself. Hold on. I'm no better than any of these people. So,
Yeah.
why not me? And wait till they hear me and hear my message.
Yes.
And, if I don't change their minds, then eventually it will change.
Yeah. 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 If you can't teach them, life will.
Life will definitely.
Life will teach them. It is okay, honey. It's always sweet just to sit back and just like, you know what, life will teach you.
Yes.
I've learned that. Okay, so lastly, the last question that I have is there anything that you would like to add or to offer to someone that may be listening that they're looking to be inspired, they're looking to inspire, or they're just on their journey right now? And as you and I speak, just to time this, we are in the middle of the corona pandemic,
Hmm.
and we're all handling this the best way we can. It's affecting all of us in various ways. Um, but maybe just something, a word, because again, I think you're so inspiring. So a word or message that you would like to leave in this time capsule that I'm helping to create for those that may listen later.
Yes. I would say follow your dreams. That is so serious, so real. And I'll say it because of this. Let's think about where we are right now in the pandemic. There's so many people that were doing jobs that they hated every single day,
Mhm.
um, being in an environment that they hated every single day, only to be let go, right?
Yeah.
And you're easily replaced. I mean, just I worked in the banking industry for 23 years.
Mhm.
There was a man who had an office right up the street from my house, and I remember telling him, and I was in my early 20s probably. I remember telling him, one day I'm going to work at your office. And he was like, over my dead body. I
Wow.
never ended up working in his office,
Okay.
but he did end up dying. He died, he had cancer. And within 2 weeks of this man passing away, his office, he was replaced.
Wow.
They did not let his employees go to the funeral unless they were able to find someone to cover them from another branch.
Goodness.
You are not important to your employer. And I'm saying this from a job perspective, but I'm also saying it in life.
Mhm.
Follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your passion. and follow your talent.
Yeah.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people will, and so let me kind of rephrase it. Pursue your passion, which hopefully is also in conjunction with your talent,
Yes.
because there are so many people who do not have the talent,
Mm-hmm.
but they do have that as their dream.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not believe your mom. Mama tells you my baby is a great singer, child. That is not always true.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, I had to say that. But
All true.
definitely live your life the way that you want to live your life. Please do not follow money. Again, I was in banking for a very long time, and being in banking as long as I have, I've come in contact with people who have so much money,
Mm-hmm.
millions upon millions of dollars, and they're so unhappy. They have millions upon millions of dollars, and as soon as they pass away, their family, they're fighting each other, and the family breaks apart over money.
Right.
Live your life, because it is no longer promised. We can clearly see that based on this pandemic. So many people died, and what happens with them? They die and they end up taking all of that talent with them that they never had an opportunity to let loose. And so you don't want that to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the where I am now, I created my own platform. I So we have the Ugly movement, but we also have Veg Out and Dine. We have Veg Out Academy, and we have Veg Out Live. I am a vegan. I'm a vegan who wants the world to understand the lifestyle of a vegan. There's so many people who believe that vegans are tree huggers and we eat grass and
Right.
tree bark. We
Yes.
we do not. And so I want the world to understand really how I eat, the experiences that I have as a vegan, negative and positive.
Yeah.
The fact that um, I have to be honest, and please don't take what the way I'm looking now, because again, this is during the pandemic, this is
Yeah.
during Rona, but I have to say that I look much better now as a vegan than I did when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah. You look
Yeah.
beautiful and fresh, April.
Well, bless you two
You look
times in
good
your
and
whole
fresh,
face.
April.
Okay. Bless you all the way. But I feel better about myself. And that is because I have pursued my passion and I am living my talents and living my dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer allowing money to dictate my life. So to answer that question, what would I tell the next person coming up? Follow your life, follow your path. Don't allow anybody else to make that path for you, because you will regret it. There's so many people on their deathbed again who are regretting every minute of their life because they lived it for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodness, thank you. You are speaking authenticity, and I love it. That's what I mean. That's just authenticity. Um, yes. So I won't add to that because I think you said enough with that in itself, and there's so much that we can um, glean from that response. Um, I will ask the other part though about you being vegan.
Mhm.
You know, I too am vegan, so I totally get it having to try to explain that we don't eat grass and tree bark.
Mhm.
But I am a tree hugger, but
Listen, and hold on, wait. Have you actually hugged a tree before?
I do, and I connect, and I've hugged them. I've taken my shoes off and put
Yeah.
my feet on their roots.
Yes.
But when we meditate and things, I think it's really uh, about respecting and honoring this space of nature that we
Mhm.
share.
Yes.
And there's something beautiful and spiritual about that connection. And
Well, I want you to talk about, because I think that
sure,
the world also needs to hear that. So when I say people, we're not all tree huggers, we're not. Plain
we're
and
not
simple.
all,
We're
no,
not
you're
all tree
right.
huggers. But I will hug a tree, child.
Listen,
When you're stressed out, you go hug a tree. People
yes,
like you're crazy. I don't care. Go hug a tree. Take your shoes off and walk in the grass.
Yes.
Make sure there are no dogs that have walked through that grass
Yes.
first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But walk on the beach. People, when you are apart, when I said earlier that we are directly connected to every living being on this
Yeah.
planet, and it's not even every living being, everything living
Everything.
on this planet
Mhm.
has some form of energy that we can connect to.
Mhm.
So we can connect to those trees.
Mhm.
Those trees have lived long lives. They have stories to tell.
Yes,
If you
honey.
just actually take the time out to meditate and be one
Yeah.
with nature just for a minute,
Yes.
you'll hear that story.
Mhm.
But I digress.
Girl, I know. So you speak in my language, and yes, it's a beautiful experience. And so I would love to talk with you. I know you have your own platform.
Yeah.
And again, I love your videos. It's always very funny. You go
Yeah.
around the city, you eat in great places. Um, I I'm probably more the vegan that I shy away from some restaurants because of the processing of foods and all this
Mhm.
other stuff. But I do love to explore a really good restaurant, and I found my favorites. But I love to see you go out and try the different dishes. And I think I might have saw your husband and yourself trying a few at some point.
Mhm.
It's just hilarious. But you introduce these great places to people that probably otherwise wouldn't have even thought about having a vegan dish in front of them
Mhm.
that wasn't salad. So
Right.
so please share with the listeners as to where they can find you, how they can follow you on social media, and just kind of, catch up with whatever you have going on, especially that new album that'll be dropping soon.
Well, if you follow me at April Sampé, APRILSAMPE, then you'll be able to be connected to everything. So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Uh, I'm not on YouTube when it comes to April Sampé. Everything else is Veg Out and Dine.
Mhm.
VEGOUTANDDINE.
Okay.
So if you follow me on both of those platforms, but again, pretty much April Sampay funnels everything and it'll tell you where to go,
Yeah.
what to watch, how to get there.
Yeah. This girl is on Google, just so y'all know. You Google her, she's gonna come up. That's when
I
you know
try
you
to be.
made it. When you come up on Google, all of your social media, it's like, what? I didn't even know that was out there.
Yeah, well, that's the problem because sometimes I'll pull myself up like, hold on, when did I do? Oh, I did. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna. Okay.
Yeah, you're definitely on Google, and some of your beautiful music is out there on YouTube. Uh, so, so people can find you. It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, April. This has been wonderful just chatting with you. I know you have a busy life, and you took the time out for me today. I honor that. I appreciate it,
Oh, I'm
and
blessed.
yeah, it's been wonderful having you to stop by. So I hope my listeners have enjoyed this. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this time that we're sharing.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, listeners, that is it. We are going to wrap this up. I, as always, appreciate you listening. I hope that you were inspired by something that was said and shared here today. And as always, I definitely tell you all to continue to inspire and to aspire to inspire. It's your girl, Queenie. Once again, I am out. Peace and love.